Wonder Murmur, where whispers weave the heart.
Hello, little hearts. A new whisper begins. In a sun-drenched valley, where ancient fern trees swayed and sparkling streams sang to the stones, there lived a lonely dinosaur. His name was Rex, and he was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. To look at him, with his mighty head and powerful jaws, you'd think he was the king of the world. But in his heart, Rex was just a boy with a simple wish, a friend. He spent his days wandering the lush park, his powerful legs moving with a heavy, solitary rhythm. He would see other dinosaurs playing. A group of long-necked brachiosauruses would be reaching for the highest leaves, their happy roars echoing through the canopy. A family of duck-billed Parasaurolophus would splash playfully in the water, their crests bobbing like little boats. Rex would try to walk over, a hopeful smile on his face. "Hi there," he'd say. His voice, though gentle, was deep and rumbly. But the moment they saw him, their faces would twist with fear. "A T-Rex! Run!" A Brachiosaurus would cry out, and in a flash, the game would be over, replaced by a terrified stampede. One day, Rex tried to approach a small three-horned Triceratops. He made his steps as soft as he could, trying to look as harmless as a dandelion. "Hello?" he whispered, his voice barely a breath. The little Triceratops froze, her eyes wide with terror. "Don't eat me," she squeaked, before turning and scrambling away. Rex watched her go, a sigh, so big it stirred the leaves on the ground, escaping his chest. His shoulders slumped, and a single tear, warm and heavy, rolled down his cheek. He felt like the loneliest creature in the whole world. He wanted to roar his sadness at the sky, but he simply kicked a loose rock with a muffled thump. The rock skittered and rolled, a small, sad echo of his own frustration. He found a quiet spot under a giant fern and sat down, burying his face in his arms. He felt a shake in the ground, and then a little yelp. "Oh no," Rex mumbled to himself, without even looking up. He knew what it meant. Another dinosaur was nearby, and they were scared of him. "I won't eat you," he said, the words heavy with sadness. A small voice answered, not with fear, but with a different kind of sound. "Help me!" Rex lifted his head, a puzzled expression on his face. He peeked around the fern. There, a small dinosaur with a large, bony plate on his back was hiding behind a tree. His eyes were squeezed shut, and a single, thorny spike from his long, clubbed tail was completely embedded in the trunk of the tree. "I'm stuck," the dinosaur whimpered, his eyes fluttering open. A small smile finally appeared on Rex's face. "I can help you," he said, his voice full of a purpose he hadn't felt all day. "I'm Rex." "Thanks," the dinosaur said, a grateful grin spreading across his face. "My name is Sid." Rex walked over, his steps now light and confident. He examined Sid's tail. "That's a cool tail," Rex said with a genuine awe. "How did you get stuck?" "I was swinging it," Sid said, wiggling his tail plate a little. "It's fun. My tail can knock things over." "Cool," Rex said, his eyes sparkling. "I like to roar. Wanna hear?" Sid nodded eagerly. Rex took a deep breath and let out a roar. It wasn't a loud, angry roar, but a deep, rumbling sound that shook the leaves on the trees. When he finished, a nearby branch with a crow perched on it fell to the ground. Wow, Sid breathed, his eyes wide. That's a great roar, Rex, but can you help me now? Yes, Rex said, and he grabbed Sid's tail with his paws. He pulled with all his might, but the spike wouldn't budge. He pulled harder, his muscles straining, but his claws slipped on the smooth spike. He tumbled backward, landing with a thump. Ouch! A voice cried out from behind him. Rex looked up. A flying dinosaur with a bright beak and powerful wings was rubbing her leg. She was holding a large sack, and her brow was furrowed with annoyance. "You're not going to eat me, are you?" she asked, her voice sharp and wary. No, I'm friendly," Rex quickly reassured her, standing up. "I'm trying to help my new friend. His tail is stuck in the tree." The flying dinosaur, whose name was Tor, looked at Rex, then at Sid, and a small frown softened her face. She walked over, her steps a little hesitant at first. "I can help," she said. Together, Rex and Tor grabbed Sid's tail. They pulled, but the spike held fast. "We need to pull harder," Rex grunted. They braced themselves, put their full weight into it, and pulled again. There was a groan of wood and a small shink as the spike moved just a tiny bit. "It's working," Tor shouted, her fear replaced by determination. "Pull harder." They pulled with all their strength. With a loud pop, the spike finally came free. But as it did, Sid's tail swung loose with a playful momentum. Whack! "Oh no," Sid sighed, his grin gone. "My tail is stuck again." This time, the spike was deeper, lodged firmly in the trunk. Rex and Tor pulled and pulled, but it wouldn't move. Tor looked through her sack and pulled out a small stone axe. "I'll chop down the tree," she said, her voice filled with frustration. But just as she raised the axe, a soft voice spoke up. "Wait!" A new dinosaur, a gentle triceratops with a short, rounded frill, stepped out from behind a bush. She had 3 beautiful horns on her head, and she stood right in front of the tree. "I can help," she said calmly. She lowered her head and gently nudged the spike with one of her horns. Slowly, carefully, she wiggled her head, and the spike began to slide out. With one final gentle nudge, it was free. "Phew!" Sid sighed in relief, waving his tail with glee. "Thank you so much." The Triceratops smiled, her eyes kind. "I'm Sarah." Sid grinned widely. "I'm Sid, and these are my friends, Rex and Tor." Sarah's eyes lit up. "This is fun. Let's play tag," she shouted, and with a playful tap she tagged Rex and ran off. Rex, who had not been tagged in a game for as long as he could remember, felt his heart soar. He was no longer the lonely, sad dinosaur he had been that morning. He was Rex, the friend. He chased Sarah, Tor, and Sid, his powerful legs now carrying him with a lightness he had never known. The world was no longer a place of fear and rejection, but a playground filled with the joy of new friends. And as he ran, Rex knew that he wasn't just a T-Rex. He was a friend, and that was the best thing a dinosaur could ever be.
Wonder murmur, the story departs, yet the whisper imparts.